Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm live with you, the Speak Your Mind Show, Richard Castro. I have a guest with me again. I have Bevan here with me again tonight. We're going to be looking at some of the issues in our community, and we're going to dialogue with the people, as I usually say, from Anegada all the way to Josh Van Dyke. We want to have some good discussions tonight about the various things that are affecting us as Virgin Islanders in this territory. Of course, I'm going to start off by talking a little bit about Black History Month and what it means to me personally. I guess I am one of those people who went to school where every February the school would put on various activities in remembrance of the greatness of the black struggle, the accomplishments that some of the black playwrights and politicians and activists were involved in. And right now I'm involved with students, and I said to them, if you're living in a time, if you're living in 2016 and you're not able to debate the issues of 2016, whether there are political issues, color, race issues, war issues, any issues that are happening now, if you don't have an opinion about it, and if you don't have the facts, or you don't know how to get the facts on the current issues that are happening, you're not really living. You know, you're existing, but you're not really living. To live is to be vibrant, to be vigilant, to be engaged, and dialoguing is one of the quickest, more precise ways of being engaged. And ladies and gentlemen, that's one of the reasons why we host this show, to allow people like yourself viewing the show to be able to dialogue with us and the entire community. When you speak on the show, you speak to the entire community. You never know who is listening, or you never know who might gain some insight from what you had to say. So be progressive and be forthcoming, and join in our discussion. So Bevan, you have any quick words you want to give the public?
I'd like to say good night to everyone. Call a friend, tell a friend, Speak Your Mind is on, and come join in the discussion. We have a lot to talk about tonight.
Okay.
And like what Courtney say, come and speak your mind. Somebody you don't know who listening, maybe the politicians listening. You don't know, you might touch a con. So let's come out and tell our friend we on and join in the discussion.
Okay. We're going to move right into to NHI. We're going to show a clip of interview with Spotlight, and we're showing it to encourage persons to speak up of some of the things that were promised in the program, and let us see where we are today. Let us see where we are and where we're going. This is our country, and we want the best for our country. We want the people in the country to live, to the best of their ability. So we're going to go to a clip, and we're going to run the clip, and we're going to comment on it.
Okay. In connection to traveling overseas, right? You need permission to go overseas. Is that what I'm being told?
No, you don't need permission to go overseas. You need to be referred by your local physician. When we were looking at creating an overseas network, we looked at where persons from the territory access care most often. Mm-hmm. Most of our people go to either the Miami area or Puerto Rico. Mm-hmm. That's where most, so we have a network in Miami area, we have a network in Puerto Rico. We are also going to be having a network in Jamaica, because Jamaica, we know, offer great outcomes at sometimes half the cost that we get in Puerto Rico or in the Miami area.
Not Puerto Rico, I don't think so.
And then we also have, we look at Panama. We are going to be looking at places in Colombia, places in Colombia, yes. Colombia offers excellent health care. Overseas providers in network you pay 20%, NHI paid 80%. And out of network overseas provider, you pay 40%, NHI pays 60%. But that 60% will be based on the usual and customary rate that we have established for our fee schedule.
So yes, ladies and gentlemen, that is a clip from some of what was being said by the director of NHI, and you know, if you have any views on that, you know, you could always, you know, call or text us. We have those numbers up there as well, right? 300-1949 if you're going to call, and 300-1950 if you're going to text. Personally, I would say some changes have been made that in my opinion, good changes that have been made. Getting rid of the death panel, to me that was a good idea to do away with that. I'm also following the development of NHI in other Caribbean islands as well, and I noticed that was one of the things that most persons spoke about. They said they don't want no death panel deciding the future. So I noticed we got rid of that as well. I think also too the fact that we have a reinsurer. A reinsurer, Bevin, is like when you have an insurer, but your insurer, when he looks at the conglomerate, all the people and all the businesses that person is carrying, they're not able to sustain themselves, so they get another higher up person to insure them, just in case they have a catastrophe. And I think that is something good that we have now in place as well.
Yeah.
So tweaking, I think, you know, tweaking is the word. Let's tweak it, and let's tweak it right.
Yeah, and if you want more information, NHI have a website.
They do have a website.
www.vinhi.vg. That's NHI website. If you go on the website, you'll find their benefits package and
Exactly.
any other information and most frequently asked questions
Yes.
on NHI. So,
Yeah.
and also you can view this clip, the full clip
If you
on
go to
JTV.
and it's up there. It's jtvlive.net.
Yeah.
Right, and it's up there on the screen for persons who want to. As a matter of fact, any of the shows that are on JTV, you can see them at any time on the website that we have up there. So yes, ladies and gentlemen, we're here with you, and we're prepared to, you know, to discuss the current issues. We have a short list, but don't let us spoil your fury with our short list. But we're going to talk a little bit about NHI. We're going to talk a little bit about the budget 2016. As you're quite aware, the budget debate, presentation, etc., is slated to start on Monday. So if you don't have any information about it at this point, you might be like myself. I'm not privy to a draft copy, but I know there are many draft copies available to persons. That is usually the process. The budget is worked on over a period of time, and various members of the government and other persons working for government would have draft A, draft B, draft C until they get it right. So, ladies and gentlemen, some of the information is out there, but as I usually say, we don't have that Freedom of Information Act as yet. So one of these days we will get it, and when we get it, we would be guaranteed to have a certain amount of information that is not classified. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm using that word carefully. Not classified. In other words, if it's some government secret or some proprietary information, some military exercise, some covert operation, we don't expect to get that kind of information. But the usual everyday running of things, the allocation of funds for various projects, etc., those are the kind of things that we expect, or we demand that we get on a regular basis. And in some cases, prior to the project or the activity being done, not after the fact, when it is almost it's impossible to suggest change. So we're hoping and still, demanding that we get that Freedom of Information Act. This is something that was promised before, and we never seen the light of day of it. So we're still hopeful that we may, one day have this thing. And while we're on it, I would like to throw in another thing, ladies and gentlemen. the House of Assembly. It's about time now that we get the transcripts from the House of Assembly to read, the verbatim. It's done. Every sitting it is done. And it's done in a, as far as I was told, it is done in a digital format. So to put it up on a website or something like that is so easy. It is very easy. We want to know the word for word what who said, rather than having to hear it from somebody else. This is high time that we can move to this level. I think we can demand it as citizens. We want to know what happened in the House of Assembly as a matter of fact, not some report, not some clip. Good evening. Good evening. You have speak your mind. Go right ahead, please.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Yeah, good evening. I heard some noise in the background. Could you turn on your television set, please?
Hello, good evening.
Yes, good evening.
You hearing me now?
Yes, I'm hearing you loud and clear. Go right ahead.
Happy New Year. I just want to ask a question. When you join the NHI, is the ambulance included?
I can't answer that. I really don't know whether or not. I've been hearing different things about it, but I think you would have to either talk to the people for the ambulance service directly or go to the website for the NHI and see what they have to say about it.
Some people say they can say it and they must come off the one you have, because I'm the ambulance already.
Mm-hmm.
But now I join the NHI, I just want to know whether or not I should stay on the ambulance or come off if I'm paying extra money. And I'm paying extra money.
Yeah. Well, what we could do is we could try to get one of the personnel from the ambulance on the show to talk about those things, because I know somebody from the the outfit that we probably could talk to that could come and shed some more light on the subject.
Sure, because I'd like to know about that, because I don't already in it and still join the NHI.
Mm-hmm.
So that's all I'm going to ask.
Okay,
Thank you.
that's a good question. Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye.
All right. Yeah. So, Bevan, that's a good thing to try to find out, right?
Yeah.
Whether or not you should give up your service that you have, or just.
I wouldn't give it up.
No, I wouldn't give it up either. Not
Too
today.
much insurance ain't bad.
No. Let's see. We got 2 texts that came in here. Let's see what people are saying. Will the minister responsible for water tell the people on Virgin Gorda when money will be given to Aqua Design, the company contracted to upgrade the water plant? That's somebody asking for the minister to say when the money will be given. Another text that came in, I want to know, with the NHI, the young men and young women who are in prison, who is responsible for registering for the NHI? That's a very good text there as well. I'm not sure who is responsible for registering them, but I was made to believe in the presentations that I heard that all such persons will be taken care of
By government?
by government. That's what I was made to believe. So I would think that if that is the case, then there would probably have to be some discussion between the 2 organizations, between the NHI and the prison, right?
For all you know, maybe they don't register.
Yeah, they may very well be already registered. Yeah. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the questions are coming in about the NHI, and I think one of the things that come out of our discussions about for the last 2 weeks is that people from the NHI management need to be a little bit more public relations friendly. In other words, putting out information, more timely information. Now, since the system is up and running, come to the public and express, the wins and the challenges and what's happening. Another text that come in: will the director of Social Security tell the prisoners? That's where we're heading. The person that texted that, right? These persons who are in charge of these various outfits, director of government businesses and the various departments, they have an obligation to the public to be upright and forefront and actually be in the lead of having information out to the public in a timely manner. And I spoke about that before too. There's some signs around that need taken down. If you have a sign up for 2-3 years and you know it's not going to happen, don't be fooling the public. Just take it down, and we understand. We know that plans are made. Sometimes plans don't go exactly the way they were planned. That's why they're called plans.
Yeah.
And we understand that. But at the
But
same
I think most of the information people want, they should just go on the website. Go on NHI website and see if you find the information there. You have a lot of information on there. And
I want to say something that I heard somebody say, or some people don't have access to computers and that kind of stuff as well. So you have to be be mindful that you have the little old lady who may be 75 who needs NHI, but she doesn't have that. So we have to use all that we have. Use Facebook. Use the various radio stations. Use the online news. Use the newspapers, the printed newspapers. Use everything, because that is what's happening today. We have a multiple discipline area when it comes to how the media operates in the country today. It's not the same. At one point we probably had one newspaper. Now we have 4 or 5 online news. We have the word can be out there.
yeah,
You have to put it out though.
you have to put it out.
If you don't put it out, it's not going to be out there. So yes, ladies and gentlemen, budget day will be on Monday, and we can share a couple of things with you. Just let me look and see what this text that comes in says. It says, why would you have to pay, a text that came in, why would you have to pay 1,000 fine if you don't get the NHI? I think the correct answer to that would be that is the way the legislation was put in place. So we would have to, we'd have to refer you back to the House of Assembly on that, the person that texted that, because that is the way the legislation was framed.
And I guess it's a way they want everybody to sign up.
Yeah.
I got some kind of penalty if you don't. Because it's mandatory.
Just a little bit of homework. Super Bowl party. 2 supersized screens at the Crawl, Bitter End, Sunday, 7 p.m. Free ferry from Gun Creek. So you see, ladies and gentlemen, there are going to be serious parties going on here on Sunday. So we will share a little bit of information with you about, there's also one here that says Super Bowl Sunday is happening this weekend at Mulligan's. Win a TV every quarter on Sunday. 2 cores, light $5. Check it out. And they give you a Mulligan website to go to. So that's at Mulligan's. You could go down there and enjoy the Super Bowl as well. We got another text that came in, says, will the Director of Social Security tell the prisoners why their benefits were not increased this year? Why their benefits were not increased this year? Okay, this seems like somebody who is really in the know.
Yeah, I don't know.
You're really in the know, the person that texts that. So I think you need to get an audience with the Social Security Board and what can they do? They can either answer yes or no. As a matter of fact, it is their job to ensure that persons are contributing how much they're supposed to contribute, etc. So, and it's also their job to ensure that when people qualify for various things from the Social Security Board, that they're giving them in a timely manner as well. So have a direct conversation with them, and I'm pretty sure you'll get some serious outcome. Now, going back to the budget a little bit, right? The 2015 budget, we were looking at that, and we were looking at the amount of monies that the various ministries had. We're looking at over $50-something million we're going to come back to that. We'll go to the phone. Good evening. You have reached Speak Your Mind. Go right ahead, please. Oh, let me remind you, this is a live show. We're here live, so you know, you could just call back. We lost that call, so you can just call back. Bevan, yeah, we were talking about the budget, right? I was saying that one ministry had something like 57 million. That's for education, and you had some. And these numbers I'm telling you about are recurrent numbers from the 2015 budget. What I was saying to callers and text and people that watched the show last week is we have to be a little bit more vigilant and peruse the information that is being put out about the budget, because that is the only way you can really understand what's going to happen in the various ministries if you get an idea of the type of funding that ministry has, because it's almost impossible to do anything without money. We're going to take a break and we're going to come back. But when we come back, we're going to talk about the fact that it seems like we're on a down slope a little bit because we're having less incorporations than we had before. So that translates into less money in the coffers. So when we come back, we're going to be right back with you. We're going to take a break for the sponsors that make the show possible, and we're going to be right back with you. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we're right back with you. We're off for a little while there for some of the sponsors that make the show possible. Before we left, we were talking a bit about the budget, and we were quoting some of the numbers from the 2015 budget, since that's the only one that we have in front of us right now. But we were also making some projections, saying that it's possible that we may be listening to some of the shortcomings of the financial services, because it is recorded that some of the incorporation in the second quarters of last year, and even now in the first quarter of this year, are looking a bit less than they were in the past. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, according to the Financial Services website, the third quarter figures for 2014 was about 13,000 incorporations, and the 2015 incorporations dropped to about 11,951. So you can see that's a big drop off. And you can see that the government, when they do the McKinsey study, that financial services, we have a lot of competition right now.
Yeah.
And 60% of the budget, the money that the government have that runs the education, fix the road, most of that money comes from financial services. So maybe that's one of the reasons why the budget ain't passed as yet.
Okay.
Because you could see that right now, if you're sailing the boat, you could see the boat, we're taking in some kind of water. You don't want to say we're sinking, but as you say, we got to things tight. You can't spend as you really want to spend. And if you listen to the House of Assembly this week, in the question and answer section, the Premier said we have about $6 million in the consolidated fund.
61.
Well, no, 6.
6?
Yeah, 6.1 million. 6.1 million. But you have about 50 million in the reserve.
In the reserve, okay.
Yeah. But as you could see, and you have 13 million in your payables or your outstanding bill invoices to pay.
In purchase orders.
Yeah,
and various bills.
So when you ask, one might say the government broke, but that's left for us to see. When the budget comes, we see how much money they estimate to bring in this year. Because we don't have the fourth quarter figures for the incorporations.
Okay.
So maybe from the second quarter, the figures went up. Second quarter was 11,059.
Okay.
So it went up like a couple hundred.
Right.
So maybe the fourth quarter, let's say, we do good, and the figures gone back up.
Yeah. Not only that, but some persons that use the financial services incorporation, they choose different times of the year
Yeah.
to do different things.
Yeah, 'cause mostly, according to the figures, the first quarter of the year is when most of the incorporations come in. In the last year, it'll really dwindle down, but according to the figures, they ain't as high as we are accustomed to seeing.
Yeah.
So,
Well, of course, there are also the other issues about ownership of companies and that kind of thing, which the UK government has been, pushing
yeah.
with all the overseas territories. So that may be some of the reason for some of the difference as well. Let me see. We had a text that came in. Let's see what the people are saying. We want to hear about the millions spent on the cruise ship dock. This one text that came in. Say, Night, I want to know if town and country planning must visit the businesses, places before issuing licenses when conditions for work. King is not. It says, well, the texts keep coming in and it's throwing me off a little bit. When the conditions where slavery is not abolished, like running water, no water to drink, no toilet paper, persons must walk with their own. Who must present these persons when bosses ignorantly ignore these necessities? Things of health is essential. Now I'm gonna say right now that I know for sure that the health department, there's a division of the health department that goes around and inspect premises, and if these premises are not up to speed, if they don't have, for example, if they don't have a grease trap on the line, they would insist, or they would demand that they place a grease trap on the line, and I would figure that if they're into such minute detail, which is important because a grease trap could mess up the sewer system.
Yeah.
Okay, but if they're into that type of detail, I'm pretty sure they should be as well into, proper toilet facilities, not to mention those things that person put in the text, However, it is possible that the person is making a valid point, and maybe those persons need to be more vigilant. And again, the same thing we were saying earlier, they need to come to the public and explain to the public what they do, because we are paying for it. It's a service we are paying for. We have to be more service oriented. We have gone way away from being an agricultural community. We're a service industry. The same budget that we are speaking about, Bevan, almost a large percentage of that money goes to just keeping government doors open.
Yeah.
And people in our society have to realize this, and have to realize that if you're paying for a service, you have to demand that service, or else you would not get the service. So I'm pleading with our fellow citizens to start being a little bit more vigilant and demanding the various services that we are paying for. We're paying for them 2014, 2015, now 2016. Come on, demand that we get a service. And I think things might be a little bit more, and the point that you're making is a very valid point. If we have less, we have to be able to do more with less.
Yeah. You always hear them saying that.
We will have to do more with less, because other than that, we're going to have to pay more taxes. There's no other way.
And we don't want to pay more taxes.
And some people don't want to pay more taxes, I agree, and rightfully so.
But on the other hand, we could try to even build the economy, find a new industry for the economy.
Of course.
So that's one of the things we could do. And the only how you have to brainstorm.
You have to brainstorm. And
Right now is the time where you could call in and just give your opinion on what other industries you could bring to
Yes.
help with the tourism and still the financial services. Because you only have two pillars.
Yeah, definitely there's room for development. I could see the hard persons talking about the fishing industry, properly developing the fishing industry, not just the people that go out once a week or twice a week, but maybe people that go for a longer period of time with long line fishing. And we have some 200 miles of area of sea, not land, but territorial area that we don't police, we don't manage, we don't use.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay, and that is part of your asset, and asset management is a serious issue. If you have a pack and you refuse to use it, I will take it over and start using it. It's as simple as that. You have to use what you have. You have to manage what you have. If you don't manage what you have, it end up not becoming yours.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that is a serious issue that we have to look at in terms of accumulation of wealth for the territory.
Well, the fishing industry, that could be
That could be and the whole agriculture, aquaculture, the whole agricultural area is an area that needs attention, development, input, you name it.
Yeah.
It needs fixing. That's what I think. And there are a number of models out there. I've seen people doing a number of things, and if I could get that kind of information as easy as I get it, I'm pretty sure other people can get it as well. We got another text that came in. Let's see what people are saying. It says, "Good night, guys. The dust situation on the waterfront is ridiculous. With tourists coming into our dock, 2 restaurants right there. The road needs to sweep or wash off." This is something that I have noticed myself. There was a operation there to complete part of the
Sewage
underground sewage that goes to Board Point, and since it has been asphalted, the area is very loose with it's loose with debris, and it needs cleaning up. I would agree with the person that texts that. You could, if it's only to consider the tourists, the restaurants, the ice cream parlor that's right there, and the police officers that have the offices right there. I mean, we have to be a little bit more mindful. I think it needs cleaning up. It's rural town. It's a town. It's the part of the thing that we sell, the tourism product that we sell. So yes, ladies and gentlemen, I agree with the person that put in that text. It should be done like right away. It is not. It's an unbearable situation. It needs to be corrected. I'm pretty sure someone that's listening who has that responsibility will take that on their own agenda and not be embarrassed by us having to come back here next week and talk about it again. But I think that is the kind of thing that this show helps with as well. A text that came in that we read earlier too, Bevan, the Brandywine Bay area, the guardrails that are down. They need to fix those guardrails.
And to me, sometimes when we're doing projects, we should do the whole project, do the thing properly the first time.
Okay.
They know they were going to lift up the road.
Yeah.
So you ain't going to
Do it right once.
Do it right once.
Yes.
The guardrails, that's a real dangerous situation that's going on there.
Yeah.
People come around the corner driving fast all the time. We can't say, okay, they ain't driving the speed limit. People break rules.
Yes.
And you don't want somebody to get them dead because going around the corner, because when them come now, they could end up suing the government and say, it's your fault.
Mm-hmm.
And that's another big thing we have to deal with.
Yeah.
So when you're doing a project, do the whole thing properly one time. Man.
Yeah. It's another text that came in. It said, "Yes, sir, it's going on here in BVI. The bosses here is not abolishing slavery here. I'm out of water for a while in my workplace, and my boss wants to play bullying, something licensed, sir. Okay, well, I didn't get the last part of that, but again, I think, if you don't have water in the place, that you should, that should be a violation of your basic right, because number one, the people who work in restaurants need to be able to clean themselves properly to serve customers, because of the various diseases that we know are out there that are problematic in
we
this
have a
area.
serious case of that gastro.
That thing is,
intestinal
yes, that
thing going around.
gastrointestinal stuff has been around, and the people in the health department have been complaining about it. So yes, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a short break for the sponsors and make the show possible, and we're going to be right back with you. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we're back with you after a short break. We were here having such a wonderful time, but we have to pick up from where we were last. We were talking about the guardrail situation last. I think that's where we were, right? And
completing projects.
And completing projects and planning your projects properly to include all the variables. So that you don't have to go back to
an inconvenience of public.
And definitely the inconvenience of public path is definitely something that we should look at with all projects. We had another text that came in. Let's see what the people are saying. It says the environmental health must ensure that town and country planning inspect businesses is a standard condition to work in tourism, is our commodity and our business. I take your point very well, so that is true. They should work hand in hand, and as a matter of fact, I think that is already in place, because the persons that are at the table when projects are being considered for the town and country planning, they sit on the table. Environmental heads sit on the table. Good evening, you're speaking mind. Go right ahead, please.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening. I think we need to check the stench of the smell of sewage in Rotang on Friday. It was so difficult to breathe. Everybody thinking about the cruise fair, but nobody thinking about that sewage problem that is in the mid there by Craft Alive.
Okay, I think I don't know of the situation you're speaking about, but I know it existed before, and I also know that if the Bird Point sewage treatment plant comes on stream, all that sewage from the Rotang roundabout area pumping station, that will be going straight to Bird Point, and it will be treated. So it must be in the final stages at this point. I don't want to speak for the ministry, but I will try to see if I could engage the ministry to put out a release about it, because that was the intent. The intent was to get that pump station up and running, and
thank you.
And get
on Friday you couldn't blow your nose.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, I don't know if you know of the problem that we're having down in the Rotang area, but they were having a problem down there. They couldn't get the line in from just about where the terminal, the ferry terminal building is.
Okay.
So I saw it all paved back today, which would indicate to me that they got the line in.
Yeah,
and
so
once the line is in, I think that would be
problem will
that
solved.
problem would have to would go away. I'm hoping that is the situation.
Well, we have to hope, because they're working on the sewage. You have to say they're working
They
on
are working on the sewage.
remember the old pipes? They had to change out all the pipes, and now they're trying to get the pipe run to the sewage stations.
The pumping station, yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
you have to. We have. It's something bad, yeah, but let's bear with it for the time being.
It may have been that because that line isn't completed as yet, that
Maybe
it may have been backing up.
Yeah.
So, and I've heard stories in the past that when it backs up, they let it out in that gut next to the Craft Alive. So if that's, well, it has to go somewhere. It
You don't want to go back out in the road, or
in the businesses, in the business places. Otherwise,
Yeah.
and it will back up in the various business places. So it must have been a problem that was on Friday of that nature, and of course that wouldn't be a good situation. That would be a terrible situation. And thanks for bringing that to the fore. I'm pretty sure the people who are involved listening to this show, the ministry concerned, the Ministry of Communication and Works, will look into it and make sure that it's properly taken care of. Yeah, Bevan, we can point out the things that are under the various ministries, but we have no portfolio. We see some of our colleagues were just giving new portfolios, but we have no portfolio, so we won't be able to get the job done.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we can continue to talk and to make persons aware of the various things that are happening in the community and let them know how the community feels about them when they're not done properly, when they're not fixed. Some people say we only look at the negative side. I cannot take that criticism sitting down here. We look at opportunities. That's what I like to refer to them as. We look at opportunities. In a situation like this, the opportunity would be to put out the information quickly.
Exactly.
You come to the public and you put out the information quickly. Look, we're having a little problem in this area and we plan to get it fixed by Monday. Finish story.
Yeah.
We finish with the news release. But we definitely have to ask for more accountability, more timely information about the things that are happening in the community. We need to know so that we can, file that away and move on to something else.
Yeah, because if you have the information and you know,
You
you
can
wouldn't
make
make noise.
you
And
can
you
make
make an
an
informed decision.
That's exactly what I was going to say. You can make
You
an
wouldn't be
informed.
you wouldn't be ignorant and
You
just
wouldn't-
talking off the top of our head.
That is so true. Yeah.
So
that
if
is
you
so true.
inform the public, then if they want to make noise, then
They're
just somebody just want to make noise.
They're on their own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you inform them and tell them the truth from the beginning, boy, can't make noise. This is what's going on. This is the situation, and I'm working on it.
A text that came in said the government building on Virgin Gorda, the Vanderpool building, was built without a cistern. So for months now, the workers, especially the ladies, go home to use the bathroom because the water is usually off. That's a text that came in there. I'm not sure if that information is correct, but because there's, let me see, I think there are two buildings there. And I wouldn't know the situation, but I could ask one or two of my colleagues what is the situation. But I know Virgin Gorda is having some challenges with the water, and challenges are challenges. Challenges are opportunities to overcome.
Yeah.
So that's what I have to say on that subject matter. But I do think that civil servants need to always be in a good working environment. It's part of the job description on most people job description, that a good working environment will be provided for you to work in, and that kind of language is common.
Yeah, and
So-
if they work if they have a good environment to work in, they'll be more productive.
They'll be more productive as well. Yeah. So I think it would be in everybody's best interest to, if they have to go and buy some water from one of my colleagues that sell water on Virgin Gorda, that's a quick fix. I'm just thinking out of the box.
Or they will just get some tanks and hook
Get
up
some
tanks
tanks
to the
and
building.
hook them up and.
That's a simple
and-
fix.
and-
I shouldn't see
How
that.
much water can a few people in a building use to do their body functions on a daily basis? How much water can they use? It's not that much, You go buy a temporary tank, fill the tank, and use the tank until the situation is resolved.
Exactly.
And that goes to the next issue, which is the standby generator. We have some places that are functioning government operations that need to be operating, whether the electricity is on or off. Those places can have a small standby generator. We're not saying that the electricity is going to be off every day, but in the event that it is off, it should be able to function.
Exactly.
And that is part of planning, and that is part of sustainability.
But maybe it's just poor planning on behalf
It
and part
may
of the management.
It may be. And I think planning starts at the top and it trickles all the way down to the bottom.
Yeah.
I'm a student of management, and I studied the Japanese style of management, and it basically says the man on the floor, the bottom, the least employee is the most important employee.
Yeah. 'Cause he's the one on the floor.
He's the one on the floor. He's the
That's
one
the one
who
doing-
he's the
doing
one
the
who is
work.
dealing with the problems.
Yeah.
And have to manage himself and the activities of the company from that level.
Yeah.
The guy up in the office don't know what's going on 90% of the time.
But he ain't gonna know.
Yeah.
He in the office.
Another text that came in: I don't have water a while. I have to go home to do my function. Hello, this is matter is serious here in nature's little secret. That's a serious text as well. I think we have to look at pockets in our society of
Yeah,
where
but in the
things-
House
where
of
things are
Assembly
not
this week,
working.
I think they did talk about saying they have water issues.
They have water issues, but I wasn't specifically saying water issues. I was saying pockets.
Oh.
In other words, we may have one part of the island where you may have water,
Water,
electricity, telephone, etc. But then there's some pockets or
Who don't have it,
areas
yeah.
where and it's supposed to be for all. We're supposed to have democracy for all.
That's right.
And when we don't have that, we who have it have to look out for those who don't have,
You're right.
because the next time it could be one of us.
Yeah.
So that's why I was saying that we have to be mindful that we try to treat Anegada, Virgin Gorda, Joshua Dyke, East End, Long Low, West End. We have to treat everyone fairly and equally. And distribution, as you know, it is a nice word when you just look at it, but in action it could be unforgiving.
Yeah.
We could have problems. We do have problems. Another text coming: thank God for system, because without that I don't know how some people surviving. Okay, well, the text keep on coming in. We just out of time, Okay. In Virgin Gorda, in the Bond area is a mess. Okay, so similar to what I was saying, right? We have to really look at pockets of non-service in the territory, and I mean that not just for water, but cell service, telephone cell service, telephone service, as a matter of fact, that as well. I know there was a situation on Joshua Dyke where persons couldn't get numbers for a while. We have to look at the territory in a holistic way, and ensure that we're selling the same services. Ladies and gentlemen, we had a wonderful show. We were able to talk encourage persons about Black History Month. If you could go to one of the schools, or if you could make a presentation, or if you could help the schools to help to put across what Black history means, it would be a great thing. We talked a bit about the NHI. We show a little bit of what was said in 2015 about it, August 17, 2015. We remind everyone about the Super Bowl that's coming up. We talk about a budget. 2016 is on Monday coming. The 67th, that would be the 8th, February 8th. So listen up. If you don't get an opportunity to be there, listen to it, hear the numbers, try to understand where the money is going to be spent. And remember, ladies and gentlemen, there's no budget without you and I. If we don't pay our taxes, don't pay or the revenue that we have to pay, etc., there's no revenue. And once there's no revenue, the government can't spend. So we have to play our part as well as being a part of the process. But when we had a really good show, any last words you want to leave with the viewers?
I'd just like to say, just remember to go on, if you want to know anything about the NHI, they have a website, www.vinhi.vg. And if you need to know anything about government, the government have a website, bvi.gov.vg. And if you want to see the show again with the director of NHI, you can go to www.jtvlive.net. And this week, I just like everybody to tune into the budget. The country is at a critical point in history. And any decision made now or not made could affect generations to come. We have a lot to do, and we all need to come together as one to move this country forward. And we need to just inform everybody. Don't just keep it as a secret. This secret thing, only some know and others don't know what's going on. All of you on the same boat. If the boat going to hit a rock, all of we need to know to get our life jacket and put on our life jacket. If all of we need to steer the boat, run from the rock, let us know we need to go on this side so the boat could turn and go off the rock. So that's all I'm saying, and just like to encourage everyone to, again, to listen to the budget, be more informed, so you don't believe everything you hear on the street.
Exactly.
Listen to the House of Assembly when they're in there speaking, because the means supposed to tell no lie in there, right?
No, but the point I was making too is that we need to get the verbatim.
Yeah.
You know, they could put it up on the website. It's very easy to do. They do it in other countries, and we could know exactly who said, when they said it, and that kind of stuff. And
we'd be very informed.
we could hold our politicians more accountable.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I see something that I'm seeing now that I saw in the talks in Caicos. We're turning off the cameras when the debate get too heated. That is a tactic that I've seen years ago. I've seen that in the talks in Caicos, but I see we're doing it here. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we had a wonderful show, and as I usually say now, God bless these Virgin Islands and the people that live in them, and we'll see you again next week.